מאוהב לאחת הילדות בלילות קרים עם פנס מתחת לשמיכה הם מדברים והוא מגלה למה היא בשבילו כל עולמו מוגן מתחת לשמיכה אצלנו בגן יש הרבה חבורות יש כאלה נחשבים יש כאלה שפחות אבל מי לא שמע על קופצי הנדנדות מרים להם כפיים מלמדים אותם לנחות מורמים על נס הדגל גאוות כל האזור רק לפעמים כשהם קופצים רחוק הם שומעים לחזור בלילות קרים עם פנס מתחת לשמיכה הם מדברים מגלה למה היא בשבילו כל עולמו מוגן מתחת לשמיכה אצלנו בגן נפרדים בשמחה כי היום לא ארוך ונפגשים שוב מחר חוץ מאלה שפתאום לא חוזרים יותר לגן אמרו לי שהם רק עברו דירה מעבר לענן אז בלילות קרים עם פנס מתחת לשמיכה הם מדברים והוא מגלה למה היא בשבילו היא בוכה כשהוא מציע לה להיות כל עולמו בערב שלפני המלחמה אצלנו בגדוד יש המון ילדים את חלקם אני אוהב את חלקם אני לא אכיר
במשול ההווה כילד ההולך לו לאיבוד כפות ידיים מושטות מבקשות את העזרה להמשיך איתך את המסע בצדדים הפרחים כאילו איבדו את זהותם מחפשים עוד קרן אור שתעזור עוד לגימה קטנה של מים ממעייני החוכמה תביא להם את התקווה הרים ראשי אשא עיניי אל ההרים במרחקים וקולי יישמע כזעקה כתפילת האדם וליבי יקרא מאין יבוא עזרי עובר אני כעת בנופים חדשים הצעדים הם נעשים כה איטיים מה יש שם שאין פה שאל אותי עובר מה בלב אתה שומר קשיש העיר כשעל גבו מונח כל עברו מביט סביב ומחפש את עולמו כשההווה כל כך קשה לא אומר דבר ארים ראשי אל המחר ארים ראשי אשא עיניי אל ההרים במרחקים וקולי יישמע שתפילת האדם וליבי יקרא מאין יבוא עזרי
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Malka Kapulovich. I am a board member of United for Israel. Thank you for joining us to commemorate the millions of lives tragically lost during the Nazi regime. Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, is a day when we remember the 6 million Jews who were murdered during the Holocaust. The Nazis unapologetically pursued to ethnically cleanse the world by ridding it of Jews and other groups, and more than 80 years later, we will never forget. Preparing for this event humbled me greatly. A special thank you to Tanger Hillel at Brooklyn College, OUJLIC at Brooklyn College Hillel, and API for coordinating the events with our student committee. Thank you Eliel Mizrahi, Mary Halabani, Perry Wiesel, Samson Miller, Sarah Yazdi, Sarah Lee Cohen, Chaya Lenachem, Naomi Monstein, Yehudis Harmon, Jojo Benayan, Rena Kogel, Christine Celeste, Farishta Saifi, and Lena Zellman. And a special thank you to Aaron Grama on preparing the presentation for tonight. We are very grateful that our speaker, Yehuda Lindenblatt, is volunteering his time to share his family story. If anyone has any questions, please post them in the chat box and we will answer them before the candle lighting. Without further ado, please welcome Yehuda Lindenblatt, a Holocaust survivor with a very impactful story.
Is Jehuda Lindenblatt. I born in 1937, March 21st in Budapest. My family, my mother, my father, my grandparents lived in a very nice area in Budapest, and we have a very comfortable life. My father had a business, wholesale and retails, eggs, milk, cheese, cheese, and even he had his own delivery, a horse and a carriage. We lived the Orthodox Jewish life, what I enjoyed as a child. We went to shul. My grandfather was a melamed, as a teacher and a rabbi, and my great-grandfather was a showhead, an artist, a painter, and a great man. You can go to the Jewish Heritage Museum and see his masterpiece, the Sukkah. And in the Sukkah, it's a big canvas. I cannot show it to you right now, but later on I tell you how to see it. And I am painted in the middle. Our Orthodox life was beautiful. We observed the Shabbat. We went to the synagogue. We had a big synagogue in Budapest, the Orthodox synagogue, and a Neologists, that's so sort of semi-conservative shul. In the Orthodox shul, my great-grandfather, whose name is Aryeh Steinberger, was one of the head of the shul. I remember when I was a child, the memories goes back, in Simchas Torah, he was leading the people to go. He was handled, in one hand, he had the candles, and another hand I was. Beautiful memories, beautiful life. And in Pesach, by his table, and I was a kid, even I can go up and walk on the Seder table. It was all right. A beautiful life we lived in Budapest. And before you saw the building, as on the movie, this is the house we lived. This place was close to the railroad station. I will return and tell you stories about the railroad station. I am one of the lucky one, with my brother, with my parents, and one of my grandparents, that we survived the Holocaust. The Holocaust was 9 months in Budapest, but every day in the 9 months, it was a misery. You had to survive. And as a child, something happened. When the Holocaust started, I wasn't a child anymore. I was a grown-up. I understand what they want. I understand they hate the Jews. So let me go back. March 19, 1944, Budapest. As you saw the building, I was down in the floor, down on that street. The German walked in. You should see what kind of parade. Tanks, motorcycles, soldiers, flags, blackhead, all the marching in Budapest. And I see it as a happy child that's interested and was enjoying it. But behind me was a poster. And a poster stated, the Jews have to live in Jewish houses, Jews in market with a yellow star. People have to wear a yellow star with the age of 7. I was 7. I got the yellow star. I was happy. And I felt myself big because all my brothers are younger. Robert and George, they were younger. I had the yellow star, but I didn't know what the misery will come with this privilege. As I was staying downstairs and looking at my mother yelling at me, come up, come up. I said, Mom, what's the problem? I'm all right. It wasn't all right, so I had to go up. I went upstairs and our life started to be different. Curfew. Jews, everybody can walk on the street, but Jews, only 12 to 2. I mean 10 to 2, 10 to 12 can walk the street. Upstairs on our apartment, we was inside, and sometimes was an air raid. Then we went down to the shelter, what you saw before, and the shelter had a glass top. In the glass top, we saw the bombers, like a panorama, like in the movies. And the bombers, American bombers, Russian bombers, night, day, whatever it was a raid, you see the flying and dropping bombs. And then when the bomb stopped, dropped, we have to start to count and figure out how far was it. At night, they called the Stalin candle. The Russian had this. They put the candle, one plane dropped the candle, and it was the whole night was like a daytime. And then they come the bombs, then they come the noise. I didn't afraid. I just went through, and it was interesting. I was looking. The time get worse. The Hungarian Nazis started to get involved with the German. Don't forget, this is almost end of the war. And the Russians on an outskirt of Budapest, outskirt, maybe a little bit farther on, they take the Jews from the small town, my mother-in-law, my other people who was outskirt of Budapest, outskirt, and all the countries, they take them to Auschwitz. One of my cousin, my mother's first cousin, and 2 children, and I have a picture of when they're waiting for execution in Auschwitz, before the gas chamber. We was in Budapest, and the Nazis had something, the Hungarian Nazis, what other places didn't have. Now in Poland and other places, Ukraine, that the Jews had to dig their own graves. They made the graves and the shalamin. But in Budapest was the mighty blue river, that blue Duna. Strauss made a beautiful waltz on the blue Duna. And what they did, they took the Jews to the Duna. They had to get naked. They took off their clothes. And you see, you have a monument in Budapest near the river. Shoes, only shoes. It's a very touchy monument. And what they did, no matter for how old I was, who was, they tied together with a wire 5 people and shot one. Because the bullet, 5 Jews shouldn't have 5 bullets. 1 bullet will take care about 5. And the 5 drawn into the river. The blue Duna was red. Red was the Jewish blood what flowed in the Duna. After the war, we went to Duna. I saw still bodies floating. 9 months, because months before the blood was still was naked bodies flow in the Duna. The Nazis have so kind of cruelty, the Hungarian Nazis, they call the Holocaust. The hair was so cruel, they made 12 women who was pregnant, at 12 or 15, I don't know how many, and shot them in the stomach. The woman fell into the water and died, was laughing. 1 bullet, 2 people, maybe 3. That was the Hungarian Nazis. So how do the people get to the Duna, right? Jews cannot travel in train. So they took them out from the houses and had to put up their hand and walk, hundreds of them. I have a window, it was near the train station. I still see it sometime at my night, how they walked. If they wanted to take a cripple who cannot walk, they took a broomstick, let them sit down. 1 people was holding the broomstick one side and 1 hand's up, another hand at another hand, and 2 people carried them down. They all go to the Duna. The Nazis went by house. None of the Germans did the dirty work because they was busy with the war. They all Hungarians. All Hungarians, here we remind you, it's all Hungarians who was wearing the green arrow and a green shirt. we'll see, and in the window, they go, the Germans, the Nazis goes house by house. And coming closer and closer. And my mother, who's a smart woman, beautiful woman in my eyes, and my brother's eyes, my mother tell me, you know how to daven, how to pray. Go to the kitchen and say Ovinu Malkeinu. That's pray. We pray it in Yom Kippur. That's pray is the highest pray to ask God for mercy. I said the prayer. And when I finished, on that moment, the Nazis stopped to take people. I don't know for the pray or whatever, we survived. It's happened later on again. When I went to my grandmother, because I was a time, the Hungarian governor, the Horthy, Miklós, he said he want to turn over, that's a historical thing, you can look it up, want to turn over to the English and want to get finished with the German. But that's, then he said that Jews can go anywhere, they can go. So we went to visit my grandmother who was in the ghetto. My ghetto wasn't built yet. The ghetto was built, but that wasn't covered. It wasn't the gates wasn't put up. The walls didn't put up. And we went to the ghetto, went to her house, and we was there a couple of days. And the Hungarian Nazis, with the help of the German, Szálasi, who'd been hanged later, took over the government. And the thing started again. People taking the Jews to the river. Children, old people, anybody. And my mother said, go say Ovinu Malkeinu. I said Ovinu Malkeinu. And that moment, when I finished, they stopped to take people. The third time I said Ovinu Malkeinu, when my mother was dying. I said Ovinu Malkeinu. But I find out the highest prayer for mercy is only worked twice. Unfortunately, my mother passed away the day after. I want to talk for you a few minutes how good was my mother. What my mother did. She was an order came in. The order came in to all women the age of 16 to 50, 52, 55, have to report in the train station. I don't understand how these people just follow the order. Nobody pushed them. But I see the window because the train station wasn't by us. I saw them to walk to the train station. Woman, backpack or something, just some suitcase, and they walked there. We was in an apartment. It's my mother. I see my mother taking out her winter coat and sewing money into the winter coat. I was, see, she's going. And she looked at us and said, I'm not going. No matter what, I can't leave my children. Actually, we lived together with my cousin. All the Jews, they put them in the smaller place. And as we are in there, and was my grandmother who's mentally ill, I can imagine my mother leave us with my mentally ill grandmother. So anyway, that's from our apartment. I'll come back a little bit before, and a happiness, show you something, a happiness. The German walked in on 19th of March. I had my birthday on the 21st. Every birthday, my mother take me to the bakery and buy me chestnut puree. Hungary, they have something tremendous, chestnut puree with whipped cream. Something is very good, to put it. So she said, I said to her, the bakeries, they open at 12. The Jews, they can go out between 10 to 12. So my mother said, we're going. I said, oh, we have a yellow star. She said, put it inside the coat. And she did put it inside the coat. We went out of the house and went to the streetcar. As I know, the Jews have to go to the back. As I go into the back, my mother said, hey, we're going to the front. We're not Jews right now. So anyway, we went to the bakery. I had my chestnut puree and went back home in the same way in front of the car. Time goes, Pesach come. They had matzahs. Hungary had matzahs because they baked it before. And after the war, they had matzahs also. So Budapest always had matzahs. It wasn't to look for if you have something you cannot eat. In the beginning, it was food. In our apartment in our apartment house was a man who was superintendent from the Nazi party. He was living in the apartment. The window was into the courtyard. In Hungary, to get apartment for the street window for the street, this was luxury. And one day he said he wants this apartment. He didn't say they want to change the apartment. He said he wanted the apartment. And told my mother, take your children and go to certain address next to the river. Go to the river. This place is a house. That's a clubhouse. The Nazis, the Hungarian Nazis had clubhouses. Clubhouses, they have enjoyment. They'd get together, but they had a basement. The basement executed people, tortured people. They sent us this place to go. So my mother took my cousin and two of my brothers. We went to that place that was next to the river. And as before we going out, my mother said, wait outside. Okay, we wait outside. And you never saw a bullet to fly out. She flied out of there. He grabbed us and we had to start to run. One of the Nazis, one Hungarian, was run after, hey, stop. How far you can run with 3 children? Not far. He catch up with us. He said, why, when you come here, you have to be there and you cannot just go out. Why you come? My mother was smart. We have papers from the Swiss government, we are protected by the Swiss. It didn't mean very much, but when you had a place where it was Swiss protected, I come back to there, I will tell you right away, you have a place you stay, they won't take you right away. So she had the photocopy and give it to the guy. The guy see the paper and he says, Hungarian curse. The Hungarian, the best cursor. If you want to listen to Hungarian curse, don't ask, that's terrible. That's unbelievable, dirty and all this. Tear up the paper and get out of here. So we left. We got back. The guy sees us come back. He said, you don't have to worry. Tomorrow I get a truck. They will take you. My father was serving with the Hungarian army as a support. The Jews go the munkaszolgálatos in Hungarian. The Hungarians who are it was the army. They had to do the dirty work, clean the latrine, dig up the thing. Everything the Jews had to do. They didn't have any uniform. They was in civilian form, had a armband, and they was the support of the Hungarian army. So my mother somehow, we know where he was, and sent for her and him and tell him we have a problem. So anyway, at night he sneaked in and came into the house. That was a cold winter night, very cold. And in Hungary they have a stove in the middle of the room with wood and fire. That was the heat. This guy was in there. My father came and went to his apartment and said, his name is Bednarik. Mr. Bednarik, please, the Russians are here. This will be over. Please, leave my children alone. Leave my family alone. Leave my wife alone. He had a belt. In the belt, he had some money. He wasn't a poor guy, but wasn't ultra rich either. So he took out about, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 Hungarian money. What the value would be, could be 10. I don't know how much. He put it down to the table and said, leave my family, please. The guy took the money, opened the stove, threw the money in there, and said, the Jews goes tomorrow. So anyway, tomorrow, he hired a pushcart, and with the children, took us to the glass house. Glass house. The glass house was a Swiss protected place. It was a glass factory owned by Mr. Weiss, who they executed. The German executed. And in this glass house, they printed all the false paper to save Jews. My grandfather was there, who saved his beard. He's not a rabbi anymore. And he went and gave out papers to people to save. And they had an Orthodox place. The Jews are separate also. So they had Orthodox place and they have non-Orthodox place. But anyway, my father took us there. I have a book, a yellow star, that show a picture where we're waiting. You see my mother, but you don't see the children because they're in the, there's hundreds of people want to get in there. They all afraid of, they only surviving, or to go to the ghetto or to get there. We got in. We got to the basement. My grandfather was there. He is the all the good thing he's doing. He's managing and also. So we had to sleep. So when we sleep, they had shelves. In the shelf was fiberglass. Any of you ever touch a fiberglass? Fiberglass? I'm not recommending. Is 100 millions and millions of needles. We slept in the winter coat. It went through our winter coat, and night and day you will just eat, and then that took about 10 days till it was there. But actually we couldn't. You make up, and millions of needles goes into your body. The glass house couldn't have children. Children can't stay there. So my grandfather make us get us in the Red Cross shelter, what is owned by a very, very religious Jewish woman who was a bakery. They changed it for children and mother from the Red Cross protecting. But we had to pay. So anyway, we went to that place, and we was there. They have bunk beds, and we was I'm sorry, we was getting at the bottom, and some kids was sleeping in there. These kids we get smallpox, diphtheria, but every night they urinated. And you wake up, you take your urinate from the top. But our money ran out. And this really religious woman who died in the holy city of Jerusalem threw us out. We have to go out. But before, a couple of days before, my grandfather came. His green head, a Hungarian man, he was talking to us, he hugged us. I never saw him again. And we had to leave. We had to leave, but the Jewish kids had to leave. So my mother put us on a coat and dressed us with the last nice coat, nice clothes we have. We walked in Budapest. We had all on us tzitzis. If you don't know what the tzitzis is, it's a garment that Jewish kids have. You can see them. And had a basket with mezuzah and Megillah. The Megillah, my great-grandfather painted it, made it, and a mezuzah. And we had to go to a Swiss house near the Duna. But she told us before, if anybody asks you, you're not Lindenblatt, you have a name like Gardener. That's your name, Gardener. You can use your first name, but they say Gardener, if they stop us. It was a cold day. As we're walking, I see they're collecting papers. And behind us was a Hungarian policeman. The Hungarian police, let me not tell, they kept order. They didn't kill Jews. They just was a police kept order. They didn't make any atrocities against the Jews. Even once in the glass house, they sent out, they took off everybody else, and there was a Swiss ambassador, Luz, who saved a lot of Jews from Switzerland, give us the papers. went there and talked to the police, and the police came, put back the people, but the Nazis killed 3 people. One was Mr. Weiss, who owned the glass factory. So anyway, behind us a policeman, big mustache, you know, nice Hungarian. And I tried to how could I say to my mother, they taking paper. She didn't see it. And she goes, I pulling her. Ma, I'm cold. Ma, I am cold, I'm cold. And she really, let's go, let's go, keep quiet, okay, go. We're going, and then she saw it. As she,
the top search results.
Stop Google. And she see it, and I crying, I am cold, I am cold. And she's lose around, and she see the policeman behind. So give me a flick on my back, and she turned around, rotten kid, I'm not take you to again, mother. And this nice Hungarian policeman said, this is a Hungarian mother, discipline his children. And he went to the Swiss protected house when my grandmother was. And a couple of days before, my grandfather also showed up there. And in the morning, he went out to take some juice to one place to another. It was a cousin or somebody had to take it. As walking, the Hungarian Nazis get it. So imagine, the guy was, my grandfather was a very short man. He shaved, before he shaved off his beard and put the Hungarian head, looked like a farmer that just came out to sell his product. They stop him. They say, hey, where are you going? I said, I'm going somewhere. Who are you? I'm a Hungarian. I am an old family Hungarian and family. He showed the paper. I am an old Christian and I'm Catholic. Also, I believed them. I've let them go. And one of the guys said, hey, stop. Drop your pens. In Hungary, only the Jews are circumcised. Took him to the river. Some people get to the river in naked, but swim out. Some, and they told us he will be shot there. The mighty do not. Meantime, hunger came in, no food. If you don't experience hunger, you don't know what is this. I didn't have a lunch, I didn't have this. And hunger is terrible. So my mother had his wedding ring. He sold a man for a piece of bacon. That's a pig fat, just the fat. You eat it raw, that pig. He gave his wedding ring for it. He came home with it and cut it to 3 pieces. He said, you have to eat it. It wasn't good. She said, you have to eat it. And we had to eat it. She didn't eat it. Give it to her children. That was my mother. Saved us a lot of time. Tried. Didn't leave his children. And then hunger. What to eat. They find some beans. In the morning, we had the bean. They made bean soup. They eat the liquid, and on the lunchtime, eat some of the few beans. If you find it. I was so hungry. On the shelf, then the bombing comes. You know, the Russians come, that Stalin give the order Thank God, because otherwise we would go. Capture, take out Budapest and the bombs. And we was on the shelter, and my cousin, who had a piece of soap, and I saw it. I stand up on my bed and begin to yell, I wanna eat the soap. I wanna eat the soap. You don't know what is hunger. Then they didn't give it to me. And then I went to sleep and was dreaming bubbles and bubbles and bubbles coming out of my mouth. Then that one day in December, January 1945, I saw the first Russian soldiers outside. Couple days, Hungary, they let people to go and rob because they was looking for food. The Russian let it for 3 days or something, and people was looking for food, and they get some food. We had a dead horse. We had the meat. When you're hungry, you eat everything. Everything is just nothing. Potato pills. That was something. Potato pills. I think that was tasted better in the ear than the potato pills, like a chestnut puree with a wet cream. And we went to, my uncle was with us, and I said, my mother sent my uncle to the house and go look if his apartment is all right. He come back, his apartment is all right. So we started to go. As the way we going, we get to the square they call Bethlehem Square. Tremendous amount of dead, all over deaths. Deaths all over. You see tossed up and naked bodies tossed up like brick walls. But in the square, there was all kind of dead people. Russian soldier, German soldier, Hungarian soldier, some civilian, and one corner, a lot of people was there with a yellow star. That's what it is. The Hungarians was killing Jews to the last minute. It doesn't matter, Russians coming, we have to kill the Jews. They did. They went to orphanages, took out the children, tied them to the gate and shot them. That was the Hungarian. Now, 1945, we liberated. That was liberation. The Hungarian Nazis changed uniform. They became communists. They hated the Jews the same way. There's no change. But you can walk the street, you can go to school. They had a Jewish school. The whole thing after the war is a whole different story. But let me stay with the Shoah for. We went back to our house and started. My father came back, started a life, and started a business. And we went to school. But behind the thing we went through, we had grown up. And then when I get 15, I started to be a child. The Hungarian communist was Jews. So the Hungarian people hated the Jews soon because the leadership was Jewish. And they get only the Jewish boys who was one that went to the Hungarian secret police. They all wanted to give them back what they did to them. In 1956, these guys was hanged in the square upside down. The Hungarian hanged them. But the Jews wanted to give back, and you wanted to give. And a whole story about what happened after, it's after another period when they hating Jews and what kind of, they stopped Hungarian Jewish schools. So I don't want to go deeply into it if we're talking about the Holocaust right now. So many things. Every day is a problem. Every day is you survive. But somehow we did. And I survived. After that, I survived the communism. So I'm not going to go deep into it, as I said before. Anti-Semitism didn't stop. Anti-Semitism, they want to kill the Jews. Not just say Jews cannot come here or cannot come there. Just they want to kill Jews. The Hungarians like that. Today, they have Hungarian Nazi uniform and they marching at the street, death to the Jews. Even the government said no, but the people, yes. I don't know why. I don't know what bad thing we did. We just want to live on our life, want to live on our own religion. The communists didn't let you to be Jew, but that's a long story. If you have guys one time, half time, I will talk about that. But that, to be survived, is only one thing. We have a country. Right now, we can look up to it. Called Israel. We have one. I was in the Israeli army. When I was Hungary, I was created for my shadow. But the army made me who I am. Today, we have a corona. In the corona, today in newspaper, but say people, the anti-Semitic thing is coming up loudly. This Magefa, this what is happening now, it's all over the world. It's all over the world. Something come up in this, that one I can't get rid of it. Okay, all over the world. And they still have newspapers in Montreal, all over. The Jews did it because they want money. They're selling the Jews who did this because they have the medicine against this, the corona, and they can make a lot of money. They have caricature all over. Today, I still tell you behind, they started to kill Jews in Inquisition and pogroms. And the pogroms, after the pogroms come the commune and all this, they throw Jews out of the houses. I saw they throw Jews out of the window. And I don't know why they wanted to get rid of us. We didn't do any harm. But we have to fight for it, to be Jews. I'm very happy I am a Jew. I'm very proud of I am a Jew. I don't have hate against anybody. I don't hate somebody because it is not my religion or doesn't follow the way I live. But why they hate me? That's my question. Why they hate me? I really didn't do anything bad. I thank you. Thank you for the Hillel to let me speak to you. And thank you for all of you Shira to let me talk about a Holocaust. And if you have any question, I'm glad to answer. I am here in my house till I will be here till tomorrow morning. So anybody can ask anything you want.
Okay, we have some questions. First of all, Matt asks, did the Nazis do random searches in the street to check if people were hiding their stars?
What was the question?
Matt wanted to know if the Nazis did random searches in the street to check if people were hiding their stars.
Yes. They went to they went. That's why they get my grandfather. That's why I had to hide the star because they do. And they do take people right away. They kill them there. Wasn't mercy. I have a story for you. They had the building. And so you can look it up on the YouTube also somewhere. The building, this guy from our house, the Nazis sent us. By the way, he got 3 years for jail because my mother went to court with him. They sent us. They had the basement. In the basement, they had a laundry room. What's a laundry room? That time, a bottle of water, and you can wash your clothes. No machines. A bottle of water. And one day, one Nazi had a birthday. They captured a woman, a pregnant woman, and a 3-year-old child. They bring them down to the basement. Next to the bottle of water, they sit around and looking. And the woman in the front of them, they will do a birthday party here. One of the Nazis took the kid by the leg and dumped him to the water. Terrible. The mother gets crazy. You can get up and begin to yell. One of the guys said, "Shut up." The mother, imagine the mother was seeing this. And he didn't shut up. She was yelling. She was crying. She was hysterical. So the guy took off his revolver, shot her in the stomach, and dumped the kid in the water. 1 bullet, 3 people. That was the Hungarian Nazis. That's what it is. Well, yeah.
All right, I have some more questions. B asks, what got you through life?
What got you to what?
Through life, like what got you through this experience?
What got me through?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know I will survive. And somehow I take everything how it is happening. And I wanted to survive, even if I had more beating after that. Will survive. That's the instance of survivor for any human. He want to survive. Get me through, didn't get me crazy. I was busy because I had other anti-Semitism. They didn't have the time to get me through. But I always looked at life. That's mine. I have something. And I had to go and had to fight for it. Even if I was scared very much, scared for every time. Scared to walk, scared to do. But I said I go through.
Go on if you're, no, all right. A similar question that quite a few people have been asking in the Zoom chat. They want to know how you kept faith in God during and after this time.
In the communist country, they take the religion away to you. no Saturday, no holidays. I didn't even think about God that time. I didn't think about just we have to survive, had to go to work, had to go to Shabbos to school, but that's not, that's a different story.
Right.
And with God, I have a question. Why the Jews have this? Why my first 20 years of life was misery? And I decide I liked to live an Orthodox life. I like the Jewish holidays, it's beautiful. Who engineered it? Beautiful. I like to go to synagogue. It's not necessarily a city going there to daven, but I'm there. I eat in kosher because that's the food that the parents give me, told me to eat. But there was a time I didn't eat kosher at all. But to be a Jew and have the religion, that's my faith. And I love it. I love the Jewish holidays. I love the Jewish life. I love the way we live. The faith and belong to the nation. We are a nation. We belong to. That's keep me up. And what later on keep me up because I went through the Israeli army. I was 35 years. I am 35 years in the Hatzolah. In my when I was a child, I couldn't fight the Nazis. So this way, if I can save somebody's life, I give Hitler or the Hungarian Nazis, hey, we didn't die yet. We are here. And faith, that's what each individual. I like my family life. I like my children. I love my children. I love my wife. I love my grandchildren. As a life of a man who went through a lot. Even just only was 9 months and more of the years in a communist time. I asking God why he did this, why he doing what we're doing now. It's a question. Believe. I believe in the Jewish people. I believe in the Jewish religion.
Michael wants to know if you know about any churches that took in people similar to how other countries.
Yes, in Hungarian people basically have a lot of good ones. One of the Hungarian lady in our building, whose husband was a World War I veteran, lost his leg. She told my mother, leave the children with me. I save him. On her son, when we didn't have food, he went to buy food and like a sucker, he put it into our house. It was few, but there was people who looked at it human. Not everybody is evil. But most of the Hungarians are. I'm sorry to tell this, but a lot of Hungarians, a lot of nice people that saved us. In school, sometimes they want to beat. When they wanted to beat me up, some Christian kids come to my aid. I have been so much beaten up in school every day. If the day and my nose didn't bleed, that was a holiday. And some Christian children who do come to my aid.
Aaron wants to know who the ladies in the photo behind you are, and
this is the photo behind me. As my daughter is there. I'm doing name without number, a program. I did a few, and this is one of the program, and the kids who interviewed me. And if I may I ask you, I can, if you to put my name with Jehuda Lindenblatt in the Google, you can see the sukkah what my great grandfather painted it. You can see a lot of things more. To go to Google and put my name in it, as spelled with Jehuda. You have I have a lot of more of this situation when I talked in schools and all over. But the best thing to see the family saga. Go ahead.
I'll find it and put it in the chat in a second. Brian wants to know what kind of music lifted your spirits, if at all.
Pardon me?
Yeah, if you know any music lifted your spirits, if you listen to music at all.
Ah, yes, I like classical music. I like Hazanut, Jewish literature music, and very much knowledgeable on classical and Jewish Hazanut music. And I'm enjoying music, yes. Yeah, that was the question?
I have a couple more questions.
Yeah, no, I have more. Don't worry. I'm not running home. I'm home. And then I have a glass of water with me and I'm all right.
Perfect. Susan wants to know if you ever saw or heard about Wallenberg in Budapest.
Yes, I heard about Wallenberg. We were talking on that time also, and Wallenberg and Lutz. We know the name Wallenberg. All the time we know it's Wallenberg will come to help, the Swedish or the Swiss. And more we heard about Lutz and anybody who see the American movie Walk with the Enemy. That's actually the story what I did today. It's an American movie, Walk with the Enemy. That's a little bit fancied up, but that's mostly the same thing.
Someone asks how being a Hatzalah member has impacted your life as a survivor.
Tremendously. I am very happy I can, in my lifetime, I did something what to help people. When I needed help, it was very difficult to get, but I can help people. I feel good if I save somebody's life. I feel good if I go to somebody's house. I feel good when they go home from the hospital, or they go home. I have to leave. He doesn't have to go to the hospital. It's for me is something lifting me up.
I love that.
Enjoy, and I feel sorry for the people. I do what I have to do, but that give me a feeling I helped somebody or I did something.
All right, we're gonna do.
I'm 83 years old and I still wanna go.
All right, we're gonna do just 3 more questions.
Okay, how many you want? I told you before.
All right. Leora wants to know which concentration camps you were in and for how long.
We wasn't, and I told you, Budapest didn't have a concentration camp. They have places they collected Jews and sent them out, but they didn't have concentration camp because they didn't have time. The Russians was there already. And it's no, most of the people connecting everything with concentration camp, but Budapest just only had the ghetto and the protected houses. Budapest is a lot of Jews lived in Budapest.
Right.
And Budapest had a big Orthodox community, and the Jews had a good life before the war. And today some people are hiding because they are Jews, But you go to see a couple of Hungarians who doesn't know they are Jews. Take a DNA. They have 80% or 90% Jews in them. They don't know because people want to keep it away. Want to be secret. I went to the cemetery to my grandfather in Hungary, and a guy was sitting in the train, and asked him how many more stops I have to get to the thing. He didn't say anything. When I come out, he came out from the cemetery. He said, just please don't mention I am Jewish. They're afraid. They're hiding. They don't know. I have cousins who doesn't say that their children, they are Jews.
Jojo wants to know if upon the uprising of Nazi Germany, if your family noticed anti-Semitic patterns of society.
And that was anti-Semitic before. They had the Jews cannot go to school, Jews cannot do this, Jews cannot get to be a doctor. It was a so-called numerous, it's a Latin word, numerus clausus. Only a few can went to the universities. They call numerus clausus.
And did they want to leave before?
Yeah, my grandfather was sort of kind of Zionist, because my mother told me when she went to office and it was Herzl's picture there, I said to my mother, this guy will save the Jews. And they didn't believe, they don't want to leave. They had a good life, why should they leave? Even the people come back from Auschwitz. You know, they escape from Auschwitz and tell the Jewish rabbi, went to the Jewish rabbi. They told them, they threw him out. They told him a sugar. Not in Hungary. And then they have the Rabbonim. Like the Munkachi Rabbi was standing up. They have a documentary film you can look at. Don't go to Israel, the Palestine. It's a Trefa Medina. Hundreds of 100,000 Jews can be saved if they didn't tell him not to go. They believed, and the rabbi who told them she shouldn't go. I was in Haifa. I went into a restaurant, a Milchiga restaurant. I saw a picture, two Hasidic guy on the wall. That was when I was 21 years. And I talked to the owner who talked Hungarian. I asked him, who's on that picture? And he says, that's me and my brother. My cousin, I'm sorry. And he said, I survived. I said, what about him? He said, I went to the Rebbe. It's in the Romanian army. He said that we talked to the Rebbe. You have two choices. We can go to Palestine or go to the the Romanian army. The Rebbe said, go to the Romanian army. And he said, when I came out, we came out, I told my cousin, I'm not going, I'm going to Palestine. He went to the army. He died in the Holocaust. I am alive. I have a family. I blame the Rabbonim. I blame because they could save Jews. It's happening today also. Some rabbis say that no, don't daven in a minyan. Meantime, when you can save, if you don't daven with a minyan. That's my opinion.
We have several people in the chat asking for a bracha from you.
For me?
Yeah, from you, yeah. A bracha.
What they asking?
They're asking if you could provide us with a bracha.
Okay, I tell you something. I am not a Navi. I am not a saint. I'm not a rabbi. I am just a simple man. I never give brachas. I'm sorry, but I wish everybody the best. Everybody have health and all this, but I don't give brachot. I'm sorry.
All right. I think that's it for questions. We're going to move on to the next segment.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Yehuda. Unbelievable, really unbelievable story. And thank you
If
for...
anybody, yeah, thank you.
No, continue.
Anybody want, you can go to Google, put my name and have something more.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
anybody have
much.
a question, you always can ask me. You know where to find me.
Thank you. Okay. We're now going to hear a memorial prayer called Kel Malei Rachamim. It's going to be led by Rabbi Bosnak.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of work there. And music too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I knew when you
I
said, you
want-
know what, brother, I knew that. The same one you give me.
That is family.
Okay, ready? There we go. Yes. El Malei Rachamim Shochein B'Amramim Hamtzei Menucha Nechona Al Kanfei Hashchina B'Malos Kedoshim U'Tehorim Yezohar Akiyam Asirim Es Nishmas HaKedoshim HaTorim Shehu Matzu V'Shenergu Shenishchathu Shenisrafu Shenitbu Shenechnechu Al Kiddush Hashem Hayetzorarim HaGermanim Yimach Shemam B'Zichram Ba'avor Sheva ועד שכולם מתפללים בעבור נשמתם בגן עדן תהיה מנוחתם, לכן בעל הרחמים יסתירם בסדר כנפיו לעולמים, יצור יצור החיים את נשמותיהם. אדוני ינח לסם וינוחו בשלום על משכבותיהם ונאמר אמן. O God, full of mercy, who dwells on high, grant proper rest on the wings of the divine presence and the lofty levels of holy and pure ones, who shine like the glow of the firmament, for the souls of the holy and pure ones who were killed, murdered, slaughtered, burned, drowned, and strangled for the sanctification of the name through the hands of the German oppressors and their assistants. May the name and memory be obliterated. As we are all praying for the remembrance of their souls, may their resting place be in the Garden of Eden. Therefore, may the Master of Mercy shelter them in the shelter of his wings for eternity. May he bind their souls in the bond of life. Hashem is their heritage, and may they repose in peace in their resting places. Now let us say, Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi. We're now going to have a candle lighting service. We're going to be lighting 6 candles in honor of the 6 million Jews that perished during the Holocaust. I'll be lighting the first candle. Next, I'm going to call upon the president of the Hillel. She's going to be lighting the second candle, Sarah Lee Cohen. We're going to have Perry Wiesel, the vice president of the Orthodox Club, who's going to be lighting the third candle. Naomi Monstein, event coordinator for the FAM Club, will be lighting the fourth candle. Samson Miller, a representative from API, will light the fifth candle. Yehudis Harmon, executive assistant of the OUJLIC at Brooklyn College, will light the sixth candle. And we're going to be lighting a 7th candle. Rena Kogel will light the 7th candle in memory of all that passed due to COVID-19, including many Holocaust survivors. And we kindle this light in hope that this darkness will end soon. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Please stay for Hatikva and take part in our virtual candle lighting. Thank you, everyone, so much. And thank you, Yehuda.
נפש יהודי
הומייה
ואתם מזרח קדימה
עין לציון צופיה עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון ירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון With Kriegich brennt auf Feuer und im Stub ist es und der Rebell lernt kleine Kinderlach, der im Aleph bläst und der Rebell lernt kleine Kinderlach, der im Aleph bläst. Zece kinderlach, dece taiere, was lernt du? Suchen noch amul und Tage noch amul, kumetz Aleph a. Suchen noch amul und Tage noch amul, kumetz Aleph a.
He raised his hand to wave goodbye, saw the pain in mother's eyes, who left her little precious boy of 4 in a citadel of ash and stone that preached a faith unlike his own. Perhaps he just may yet survive this war. In the shadows stood a man in black. My child, he said, you must not look back. Yet one image lingered, the tears on her face, and mother's words from their last embrace. Shema, Shema Yisroel, know that there is but one God above. When you feel pain, when you rejoice, know how it longs to hear your voice. Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Deep within the iron gate, far from the stench of war and hate, he knew not of a world gone insane. You must believe us, he was told, our faith alone can save your soul. Please let us heal your wounds and ease your pain. He tried not to forget his past, his home, but he was so very young and all alone. While visions of Städte, once vivid and clear, began to fade and all but disappear. Shema, Shema Yisrael, know that there is but one God above. When you feel pain, when you rejoice, know how it longs to hear your voice. Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. The winds of war had finally passed. One man took on the sacred task to bring the scattered Jewish children home. He traveled far from place to place, a quest to reignite the faith of those sent into hiding long ago. He entered the fortress gray and cold. Your kind is not among us, he was told. Hashem above, he whispered, please don't let me fail. As he began to sing, Shema Yisrael, Shema, Shema Yisrael.
Malka? Yeah, I think we can. You're muted. Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I'm going to say that. Thank you everyone for joining, and thanks for everybody who put in the time and came and helped out with it. And
Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe, yeah.
Beautiful program. Aaron, thank you so much for all your technological savviness. Malka, thank you so much for everything. All the committee, thank you all so much. It was so powerful and so beautiful. Yehuda, thank you so much. We hope this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship with you and us. We hope to see you again soon. And we hope you come visit our Hillel.
Oh, okay.
We got to show you around.
Soon they will be open the city.
God willing. With God's help, very soon.
Yeah. All right, just get me the copy if you have.
We have, and we have a lot of words of love for you. We're going to send everything over to you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you very much, Naya. Let me speak.
Thank you. You should know, I just know we are also on Facebook, so I don't know, but from Zoom, I think we had over 170, 180 people. So thank you. You had a very large audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
And more on another site. So thank you so much.
Yehuda.
All right.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to say, I don't know if you remember me, but you were in Witness Theater at Yeshiva.
Yes. Yes.
I did Witness a few years after you, and I was there your
Yes.
year. I was a student when you performed, and it's just a really nice honor to see you again and hear your story again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and for sharing with us. We really
You are the generation who takes it over. We sooner or later will go to somewhere else, but you guys keep it up and show the world the Jews didn't die, and they won't, and they will be proud to be a Jew.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you so much. It
You're
was
very
really an honor
welcome.
to hear you and see you again.
All right.
So sweet. No one wants to leave. We want to hear more. No one wants to leave.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
At all.
Beautiful. Good night.
Laila Tov.
Laila Tov. Oh my God, he was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm
going to be shutting the meeting from my side. Any
Are
objections?
people still writing letters? Wait, is the chat still going? People writing messages to him?
Yeah, good night messages.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
we copied all the messages. We'll
Yeah.
send it in an email.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I'm ending the meeting.